He burned the peanut butter, set off the smoke alarm,
Pork chop sandwiches!
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/slash stories about Kevin once more because the last story kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, but there's a bunch of people in the comments that's like, hey, wait, hold up ReddX, do not pass judgment on this whole subreddit over one story. There's a lot of great stuff in the top posts of all time. I had some stories suggested, so that was pretty cool, and we are going to give this subreddit a second chance, see if we can add it to the mishmash of what we're doing over here. And I have high hopes, because on paper it does sound like a completely awesome subreddit, and even the story titles in the top post of all time give me great excitement for what might unfold. But first things first, let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some stories about Kevin Cringe. I fired Kevin after one day of amazing stupidity. Oh, use a laser moon centaur. Your name's been tossed around quite a bit. I'm looking forward to this one. Originally posted this on r/askreddit, and someone suggested that I post it here. This is probably one of the stupidest people that I have ever met. He was a 26-year-old male and turned up an hour and a half late the very first day. He was brought in by his mom, which I thought was kinda odd for a grown man. I let that slide, but then things just got worse. I mean, 26, I don't know, life stuff happens. It's passable, I suppose. It was a small roadside cafe/eatery, so I thought that I'd get him started on some small duties to just ease him into the way of the place. I asked him to put new toilet paper in the toilets, and a minute or so later, I hear him yelling, "LP! It won't fit on the toilet roll holder!" I'm like, what? That's a pretty simple thing. He calls out again, so I tell him to bring it to me so I could show him. And he's carrying a roll of paper towels. It's almost 3 times the length of the toilet paper holder. Kevin, I say, that is a paper towel. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Have you ever seen toilet paper that big in your life? No. Right. Furthermore, and probably more perplexing, can you not see that this massive roll could not possibly fit on this small bar? Yeah, I thought that was odd. I mean, maybe this roadside cafe just serves food that makes you poop, so they need really big toilet paper or something. Oh boy. Well, the day goes on, and after the kitchen is pretty much closed except for pre-cooked baked goods, I get him to give a general cleaning and ask to make sure that he wipes down all the benches. I leave him to it as I assume that he's doing fine. Wrong! One of the other staff comes and says that we've run out of toilet paper, and I'm like, what? That's not possible. Sure enough, all the packs are torn open and empty, except for the rolls that are on the holders. At this stage, I realize that there can only be one culprit, and I call Kevin over. Did you do something with the toilet paper? What the fuck is it with this guy and toilet paper? Yeah, I used it to wipe down the benches in the kitchen. You used 8 rolls of toilet paper to wipe down the benches in the kitchen? Why are you using toilet paper to wipe down benches? I don't like using the dishcloth. Who taught you to wipe down benches with toilet paper? Have you ever seen anyone wipe down benches with toilet paper? The cloth was dirty, and I didn't want to clean it out. Oh boy. Is a cloth really so hard to clean, Kevin? God damn. By this stage, I'm thinking, day's nearly over. Just let it go, and I'm sure it'll work out fine. Yeah, you know what's coming. Kevin strikes again, and this time it is beyond moronic. So I've got him on serving customers pastries and the like, because all you really have to do is take it out of the glass bay, put it on a plate, and give it to him. He doesn't even have to ring it up. Just pop the pastries on a plate and give it to the customer. Well, one of the customers orders 3 scones with jam and cream. He's behind the counter doing his thing, and I have a little peek and see, yes, he's cut them in half and managed to put the jam and cream on them. Good so far. About a minute later, the customer brings the scones back up to the counter. There's something really hard in these scones. I bit down and it was like I was crunching on a rock or something. Of course, I'm puzzled. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. And that's when Kevin cuts in.
It's probably just the seeds and the jam.
Now there's something about the way he says this that makes my alarm bells ring. Show me what you put on those scones. And I start marching towards the prep bench. Sitting on the bench is the bowl of whipped cream, and next to it, in a plastic bag, is a broken glass jar, which contains the jam. Wow, this motherfucker is feeding the customers broken glass. That's like so beyond Kevin, dude. That's criminal. What the hell?
I didn't think it would be a big deal.
Are you fucking insane? I grabbed the plate of mostly uneaten, glass-infused scones. How is anyone supposed to eat this? To my utter amazement, Kevin does indeed proceed to eat them. Right in front of me, all the while crunching on glass and flinching every time he does. I'm paralyzed, dumbfounded. When he finishes eating them, he says,
"Do you think I should go to the hospital?"
You're fired, Kevin. See, it's no wonder that he needed his mom to drive him. By himself, this dude would not find his way to work. I'm surprised he found his own way out the fucking front door. That is insane. Are you kidding me? And then the fact that he actually proceeded to eat these glass-infused scones. I'm sitting here like, no, man, this is natural selection. Just let him finish. Natural selection is doing its thing right now, and we are impeding progress, Kevin. Oh, that poor customer too, man. God damn. I don't think the OP probably told them about that little oopsie, but that is a lawsuit waiting to happen if I've ever heard one. Jesus Christ. It's a good thing that you fired this guy. Definitely way more trouble than he's worth. It's just so hard to find good help these days. Well, yeah, I'm digging these stories now that we're getting into the real goody goods. So let's jump into another one. Why not? Another suggested post, and this one is the most upvoted of all time currently in r/StoriesAboutKevin. So you know it's gonna be good. Shouts out to you, Lego Maniac 89. My boss's stepson is a Kevin to end all Kevins. God, end all Kevins. Wouldn't that be something? Too good to hope for. So, just over a year ago, I switched jobs and went to work for a guy who we'll call Bob, who is running a new/used aquarium shop. The shop was built onto his house, so as a result, I've become pretty close with his family, including his 15-year-old stepson, who is the most Kevin person that I have ever met. For the first couple of months, I thought he was just a bit quirky and clumsy, but as I've come to know him more, I've discovered that he is a Kevin of the highest order. Now, I've known some dumb teenagers in my time. Hell, I used to be one. But this kid is just on another level. Just in the year that I've known him, he licked a lit match because he thought fire would taste like a flaming hot Cheeto. There's 2 different types of heat, Kevin, okay? There's a flavor heat and there's a temperature heat. The 2 are not equivalent. He can't climb a flight of stairs without tripping his way up them. This is a multiple times a day occurrence. Maybe he's just in a rush to go play Fortnite or something. You know these kids. He once dropped a bowl of cereal and milk, and rather than clean the mess up with a towel, he soaked up the spill with his sock. A sock that was still on his foot, might I add. He then put on his shoes. Oh no! See, I could have gone with the sock. I'm like, okay, I get it. Lazy's lazy. But then to not even change the sock. He then went out to catch the bus and went to school with a soaking wet milk sock. Milk socks. That's $1 million idea if I ever heard one. He went to the school nurse that day because he was convinced that his foot was bleeding and soaking through his sock. He just forgot about the milk sock. God damn. He wants to be the first
pro-Trump rapper.
And is currently pissed off at Kanye for stealing his idea. Oh, you would think that would be dated, but goddamn, it's still just as funny as it would have been 2 years ago. He is failing gym class. I have no idea how one fails gym class. He's broken more than 20 aquariums in the last year. When we buy used tanks, they need to be washed and leak tested before we resell them. Kevin sometimes does this to help out, but he can't understand that when you wrap the hose around an aquarium, you can't just yank it free. For reference, I've been in the aquarium hobby for 12 years and I've broken 2. Kevin is not allowed to clean tanks anymore. Yeah, he's just in a rush. He's got to yank that hose free and go play Fortnite. I don't know why I'm shitting on Fortnite. I play a lot of Fortnite too. Bob was selling an older, fairly good condition Cadillac that had been sitting in his driveway for a while. The day before the buyer came to pick it up, Kevin was mowing the yard and scraped the handle of the mower along the entire length of one side of the car. Holy crap. Gotta give me a discount on that, Bob. He likes to use Jew as an insult. Oh, he's Cartman. When I called him out on it, I discovered that he thought Jewish people didn't actually exist. He thought that they were just an imaginary race of people that everyone pretended to hate. What? Holy God. He played lacrosse on his school's team this summer and got benched all season because he told the coach that
he didn't need to run laps or go to practice.
And this is also probably why he's failing gym class. He left in the morning like normal to go catch the bus. 3 hours later, he came back saying that he missed the bus and needed to be driven to school. The problem? It was Labor Day. There was no school. He stood at the bus stop for 3 hours on a day when there was no school. I don't understand how. Like, aren't the non-school days the ones that these kids are keeping track of the most? Oh man, this is bad. He eats absolutely everything in sight. If you leave food unattended for more than 10 seconds, consider it gone. Bob went to Taco Bell and got food for the 4 of us. Kevin was left alone with it and ate his, mine, Bob's, and half of his mom's food before he realized that
it probably wasn't all for him.
Yeah, I guess kids are hungry, you know. But goddamn, this boy's really putting it away. When he found out that I'm a chili head, he bragged for a week about how
he loves super spicy food too.
He then tried to glob my ex-Horesco after I warned him repeatedly not to, and he spent the next 2 hours crying and blaming me. Not as much of a chili head as you thought, huh? We've been gradually remodeling the house when we're not working in the store. Kevin's bedroom was the first room that we finished, and he managed to put a hole in the wall on the very first day that he moved in. Was that a clumsy hole or an angry hole? One day, completely out of the blue, Kevin asked me,
I know girls don't have a penis, but is there just like a hole beneath their belly button where a penis would be?
Ask your mother. Bob told Kevin to wash the truck one day earlier this year, and Kevin thought that he'd be helpful and wash out the fuel tank as well. With water. God damn. His school lets him rent a tablet for schoolwork. He got it taken away within a week because he was using it for porn. I assume he was just watching porn to find out if girls had a hole where a penis should be. It's all research. His parents signed him up for tutoring to help with his grades. Turns out, all the tutoring in the world won't help your grades if you never turn in your homework. He was under the impression that homework was optional. Also, he routinely falls asleep in class. He thought that fish were just very active plants. Yes, really. He managed to tip over and dump the contents of the trash can that he was taking out to the roadside to be picked up. Well, rather than pick up the mess, he just kicked the trash around and spread it out across the yard. In hopes that it would be less noticeable if the mess was less concentrated. Isn't that like completely opposed to logic? Not only is it way more noticeable now, but it's also way more of a pain to pick it all up. Oh, Kevin, what a classic. I know there's more that I'm forgetting, and I'll edit this post as I remember them, or as Kevin gives me more material. I'll just leave you with this tidbit. Kevin starts driving in 3 months. May the gods have mercy on us all. Edit 1. To everyone wondering if Kevin has some kind of undiagnosed mental health issue, I suppose it's possible, but it seems more like a severe lack of common sense than anything else. I never met his biological dad, but from what I've learned from his mom, he's one of those people who's habitually unemployed, yet spends all day bitching about how
immigrants and minorities are a drain on society.
I'm hoping that Kevin will eventually grow out of his Kevinness and not follow in his bio dad's footsteps. Edit 2. Even more! One just happened this week. The other apparently happened a couple of months ago, and Bob just told me about it. Kevin decided that he was going to practice his blacksmithing God, by removing the leaf catcher from the lawnmower and bending the shit out of the metal frame. He then realized after the fact that he was probably going to get in trouble for ruining the leaf catcher, so he decided to just burn the bag and throw the frame in the trash. Bob found out, of course, and Kevin has spent the last week complaining about how tedious it is to manually rake the leaves out of the yard. Well, you reap what you sow there, don't you? Kevin discovered that you could take things apart with a screwdriver. God, who's giving this kid tools? Don't do it, he's gonna kill himself. Open up the TV or the radio while it's still plugged in. And he decided to disassemble the blender with his newfound knowledge. He took the entire thing apart and had no idea how to put it back together again. So he just left the pieces all over the counter. When his parents asked him why he did it, he first denied that it was him. And then he claimed that the blender just randomly fell apart for no reason. I took this screw out and it all came apart. I don't know what's going on. Edit 3, the final edit. Since this has been getting a bit of attention today, here's an update on how Kevin's 2019 has been so far. Kevin has not started driving yet, and he likely won't for at least another year. Bob bought him an old Jeep that needed repairs before it was drivable, and Kevin managed to knock off one of the side mirrors with his bicycle. I have no idea how. Kevin also decided to start writing a fantasy novel, and in a moment of weakness, I volunteered to be his beta reader. He then told me that it's going to be
an erotic orc fiction with swords.
He can't make it up, man. Jesus, this guy is out there. OP, if you still got that novel, I want to get my hands on it. Just for science. Kevin was making a grilled cheese sandwich and decided to experiment and put some peanut butter on it. He burned the peanut butter, set off the smoke alarm, ate half of the sandwich, gagged, threw it in the trash, and then decided to dig it out of the trash and eat the rest. Oh, this is horrible, but not horrible enough to just throw it away. Kevin's also not allowed to have a cell phone because he's still failing a number of classes and he's too easily distracted by technology. So he's been going to Walmart and buying the cheapest phone that they have and hiding it from his parents. The problem is that he hides it in his pocket and he doesn't know how to silence the ringtones. He's had at least 3 phones taken away from him. Finally, Kevin got a blunt from one of his friends at school, smoked it, and then told his parents that that smell was his new cologne. Mommy, Daddy, I just want to grow up and be a pothead like my dad. Oh my God, what a mess. I'm sure Bob is thanking his lucky stars at this point that Kevin was not spawned from him. He's a good guy to take all this on. I don't know if I could do it. I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? And then, of course, Mom jumps in and she's like, you can't speak to him that way. I'm like, he's walking around with the milk sock on. He told me his foot is rotting because of the combination of foot sweat and rancid milk. Oh, God. I take it all back, what I said in the last episode. I love stories about Kevin. There's so much shit going on here that I'm not even sure what to touch on 100%, but it's hilarious. All of it through and through. I don't think that he's as bad as the previous Kevin trying to feed customers glass and stuff like that. He's got upper management written all over him. I don't know if he'll be able to do anything else in this world. God damn, dude. I was definitely a weird kid at 15, but thank God, at no point was I this weird, this clueless. At least I don't think that I was. Then again, you don't have a whole lot of perspective at 15 either. You just think that you're fucking God's gift to the planet. I could probably hit my mom up and she could come up with plenty of Kevin stories on her own. About the shenanigans that me and my brother used to get up to. But I'll save that for another post, another episode, another time. I just appreciate you watching with me today, friends. I hope that you like, comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy the video, of course. We've also got some links in the description, all them plugs and disclaimers. Wifey's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX, got a new video up on it, so I do hope that you check it out. It's my boy playing with a fish, which is kind of relevant to this story, you know? This Kevin's dad is selling aquariums. My boy likes to poke fishes in the eye. It really sparks joy. That's what I'll say. We got a bunch of other stuff down there too. Also social medias and stuff, and my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. And I would like to thank them as always, but especially Calvicus, Fatboy Shrimp, Robert Waits, TSM Kirby, Teddy the Police, Aaron W, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Livison, Silent Revolver, Zathras, Zero MX, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Rouse Tower, Caustic Fox, Derpy Tricks, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Diggy, Hap at Japan, OG James Cook, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, KK, Miss Monday, Magdalene Marshall Thornrose, Melgar the Destroyer, Mirthful Baker, Mr. J, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nix, Katikins and Elizabeth, Sidestep, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ash, Siegfried, Steampunk Ellie, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tato Ferret, That Duck and Bug, Fusky, Treeberg, Redwind, Goose Says Honk, Leon Embers, Naga Viper, John Endors, A Roxers, Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry, Crafty Kitty Cat, Mark 211, maybe next time, or Game of Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, The Last Shinobi, and the maestro himself, Zuka Cervantes. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. It does indeed mean the world to me. I hope that you enjoyed this bit of redemption stories about Kevin. And stay tuned because we're going to have the Saga of Serpent Beard part number 2 up a little bit later today. So I hope that you're looking forward to it. Until then, keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands. Maybe watch some of them ReddX videos in the meanwhile. And especially always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, bye.